This Pondercast is brought to you by you. We are powered by listeners through Patreon. Please consider a monthly donation at patreon.com/Pondercast. Let's grow this together. Hi, I'm Laurie Brown. Let's Pondercast. In the first of this night series, that was episode 2, it was called Hour of the Wolf, I talked about running in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep and how I started to become acquainted with night in a new way. There is a whole other way to experience the night, not just by staying up late and continuing leftover daytime pursuits with the lights on, and not just lying in bed wishing you were unconscious while anxiety beats you to a pulp. There needs to be a third way, because there is another part of you that needs tending to, and it needs to happen in the dark, and you need to be brave and curious to find it. So this next episode in the night series, called Feral Night, is about another experiment I did in the dark. In the city, after a brain-busting day in our regular lives, we take off the harness as night falls, and we let our attention drift away, drifting into aimless puttering and channel surfing. And on those nights, you can head to bed feeling slightly defeated and bored and mildly anxious. Wow. When that happens to me, I think, great, another lost night. Why does this downtime make us feel worse? I mean, haven't we earned the right to veg in front of the TV? Isn't downtime supposed to repair you in some way? Watching television, it's a cheap distraction. It's actually the lowest kind of experience you can have. TV puts us into a state of entropy that is neither functional nor fun. Our brains shift way down into low gear. And you know what? It's the same place our brain uses when we worry about shit. So when we finally turn off the TV at bedtime, our brains are in the exact same position where worry and anxiety work best. You've been set up. Your night is destined to tank. The wolf is in your house, and it came in through the TV. And you carry that wolf in your gut as you turn out the lights and move to the bedroom. There is a sinister side to how we spend our leisure time. That kind of makes me mad. That you can't just veg out and do nothing and not have it affect you in some kind of negative way. Instinctively, though, I know it's true. When I pay more attention to my nights, I feel better. Before I fall asleep, I need to fall awake. Falling awake at night is a lot easier for me when I'm at my place on the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia, which is where I am right now. city girl turns into country girl. Everything about my life here is different, but it's at night I feel it the most. There's nowhere to go, no one to see, there is no TV. And the dark here, it is inky black. For the first few days, I struggle with this shift to this new kind of quiet, dark night. The first night, I put on my rubber boots and I grab a plastic lawn chair and I head out the back door. I'm yearning to finally see some stars. You know, some problems can be fixed with vodka and sunshine, but the really big ones need night and the stars. It's spring, and the sound of the peepers in my pond is deafening. These little teeny frogs act just like a Arctic dew line station. Any noise coming out of the woods, or when they sense anything is approaching, like me, they immediately go silent. Like me, out here in the dark, they are on full alert. The field I'm walking through is wet with dew. In the daytime, this walk would be easy. In the pitch dark, I don't trust the ground I walk on, or anything else for that matter. Like muscles that haven't been used in a long time, instinct takes over and I move differently. Feet softer on the ground, making less of a noise. I don't want to break the quiet. I want to hear if anything else is out here with me, because I certainly can't see them. I can feel this darkness on my skin. It's damp and spring earth cold. The breeze on my face has a dozen different moods. It's strong and insistent against my right cheek and neck, and then it swings around to my back. It moves around me, changing direction constantly. The sound of the wind is light but loud, as if a feather is being dragged across my ear. I get close to the pond, just this side of the dark line of trees where the forest begins, and I place my lawn chair and I sit. I am petrified that a pack of coyotes might show up. I'd totally be screwed. I hear them hunting at night sometimes, waking to their yip, yip, yip. I think there are about 40 of them, but probably there's only about 3 or 4. The yip, I'm told, is the sound they make when they are chasing their prey, and when they've made the kill, they howl. Sure enough, lying in bed, there have been nights when I've heard them yip, and then there is a space of about 15 seconds of no sound except my heart pounding, and then they start to howl. I leap to my window. I'm sure I'm going to see them ripping up the kill in my yard. The howling is so loud. But they aren't there. They are in the woods, the dark, unknowable woods, where I will go tomorrow in the light and everything will feel completely different. I look up. The full canopy of stars goes right down to the horizon in every direction. It's like you're inside a dome. Claustrophobic, really. I feel the same kind of oppressiveness when I ruminate on the amount of livable atmosphere that encircles the Earth. It's basically the thickness of saran wrap around a basketball. So much for soaring, unfathomable expanses of space, light, and air. We have a lid, and our noses are pressed up against it, and we are turning up the heat. Now I really feel claustrophobic. When the stars cover you so completely, you think of yourself along with everything else, all of us living in this petri dish. Out here in the dark, you are simply another microscopic living thing. The night and the stars and the wild trump all human preoccupation. They mean nothing to this night. We are all stardust. Thank you, Joni Mitchell. Our bodies are made of scraps of stars, and the spectacular death explosions that some manage when they go supernova, everything in us originates with that residual stardust. Some of the stuff in you is as old as the universe. Some is just a few hundred years old. There is a line of hazy cloud that starts at one horizon and ends right behind me, somewhere behind the dark outline of the treetops. I look again. Those are not clouds at all. It's the Milky Way. My first feeling is grief that I immediately did not recognize the Milky Way. I haven't been able to see it in months, stuck in the city. The second feeling comes right on cue, and it is awe. Nothing produces awe more quickly than the stars, right? The quickest exit to get out of your head and into the world. jacket is so damp with dew, the arms of the plastic chair are wet. I shift my chair 90 degrees to get a different view, but I can barely see anything. The night lets the other senses out to play. They are in overdrive, hearing, tasting, smelling, and feeling. Instead of living like a brain on a stick, too frequently our daytime experience, you feel whole. From your damp, cold feet in the rubber boots to the breeze on your hair at the top of your head. Out here in the field, the darkness puts you back in your body. Shift your eyes from the stars and scan the dark forest line 5 meters away from me. Because I'm waiting, quite nervously in the dark here, for a visitor. When I'm not at the farm, everything feral comes closer to the house. Sitting out in the field on the first night, I want to let the animals know that I'm here again. Then I hear it. An animal moving at the corner of the woods. Oh, it sounds way louder than it should be, crashing through the bush. I tense and hold my breath. It picks up my scent and snorts in surprise. Please, God, make it a deer. I'm pretty sure it is. The snort I recognize. I hear him run to the left of me, although I see nothing. The huge strides and quickness tells me it's a deer, although from the sound, it could be an elephant. It snorts again, sounding mad, and runs around behind me. Stay in the chair, I tell myself over and over. Don't run back to the house. It pounds by me, heading to the right, where I can pick out his silhouette against the sky. A big buck. My heart is pounding as his glowing eyes turn and meet mine. In this moment of encounter, time stops. There are no words to describe what I feel coming from him. The intensity of it could knock me off my feet. He reveals himself to me in all his feral dearness, and with it, he brings the whole forest and the earth we are standing on and the star-filled night. I stand in his feral world, and I am part of it, and we are part of it all. All this in one moment in the dark. breaks his gaze and circles me again, snorting. He stops, looks at me once more, and with 3 leaps he is gone, crashing back through the woods. I breathe again. The first few years I was here, I couldn't stay in the chair when he appeared, and I couldn't be out here without a flashlight. The second time the buck would snort, I would bolt back to the house terrified. Meeting something feral unnerves me. Have it happen in the dark makes it 10 times more intense. Tonight, I stayed in the chair, and the buck showed me a world that I ache to be part of. This is the night we fear, the one we flood with light to keep away. This is the experience of night that overwhelms us, that we can't comprehend, that we have no words for. We have such difficulty accepting anything that overwhelms us because of how it might challenge us. We fear the changes that might bring. In that field, in the dark, I became part of the deer's world, and I met another me. I finally pick up my chair and walk back to the house, resisting the urge to speed up, sensing the whole wild world behind me. I am elated, but relieved when I turn the lock on the door and walk through the quiet, safe, dark house, falling back into my domesticated self. I do have something in common with that buck in the field tonight. For that flashing, terrifying moment we saw each other, my body was working like his, and for an instant in the dark, our brains were working the same way too. Do we all have a feral self? Underneath all the layers of learned behavior and domestic routine, beyond all manner of human distraction designed to have us look the other way, is there a wild version of you that you haven't met yet? One motivated by curiosity instead of fear, awareness instead of distraction? Pick a night, find a field, and grab a chair. I'm Lori Brown. Have a great night and a great day. Thanks for listening to Pondercast. Become a supporter at patreon.com/Pondercast at $5 a month, and you'll receive Pondercast merch. Win, 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 win.